I'm Oliver Quinlan, and I'm a primary school teacher in Birmingham. My blog's at www.oliverquinlan.com/blog. My first star thing that I've seen that's been really good in my classroom is children coming in and being allowed to sort of follow things that they're interested in. Some boys in my class brought in some rocks, and they had a poster of places around the world where those rocks were from. And it was really good to be able to actually spend some time just exploring that with them and finding out different kinds of learning. And lots of other children got involved with that, and they looked at a lot of geography and science to do with rocks and things like that. So I think it's being open to children's interests like that can be really, really powerful. Another thing I think is being able to spend longer times on certain things and letting them crop up again. We've done, especially in literacy, we tend to move through text types really, really quickly. And some children in my class have decided to revisit looking at plays recently and play scripts. And what they've done has been much more powerful than what they actually did in the timetable time for doing that. So I think being able to allow things to crop up again when they've got meaning for children can be very powerful and can produce much stronger results, really. And my wish really would be that we could maybe look at alternative ways of actually timetabling things to enable things like that to happen, because that's always the challenge, is that you have a certain amount of things you have to do and you're expected to plan a certain amount of time in advance, and that can really hamper that kind of responsiveness, I think, to children's needs and interests. So my wish would be to look at alternative timetabling methods.
Brilliant. And if you were looking at quite a lot of the people viewing this are what you would call school leaders, in that they maybe their core job is effectively to manage things like timetabling, which they might see as the last thing that you would change, that the real change has to start with just the way we teach in the classroom and with teachers. That's what all the research says. Do you think that it's possible for a teacher to do their best possible job without seeing these changes in timetabling, where you're looking at 2 or 3 hour stretches of learning? Is there a halfway house that we can reach beforehand?
Yes, I guess so. I guess that you could have some periods that are more strictly timetabled to make sure you get through the requirements that you need to, and other areas that are looser. I think you wouldn't have to go fully over from one way to the other. I think it can be a managed change, and I think that's probably what what people would need to be able to manage their change in their own practice towards that kind of thing, because it's quite daunting when you're used to being timetabled and closely planned